All right, trying this again. That happened once on a live stream at that. All right, I'm back. And I'm walking faster than normal. I'm trying to pick up the pace to get my heart rate up a little bit and burn off some of these calories. These, as you say, calorías. I hope you guys are doing good. Looks like I have one person, three people. All right, three people in my chat. I'm sorry, I messed up. Peter, how you doing? Peter, I got something special for you, brother. Because you've waited so long for these prints. I'm gonna give you the prints of all the ones that I've done so far since you. And I'm just gonna hook you up, brother. I'm gonna hook you up. Maybe even a head sketch for you, for your patience. I'm back, Cosmetti. I'm back. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. It's like I think they're trying to shut me down from the IFA. I'm doing good. What? You got it. You got it. You got it. I gotta work on it today so I don't forget. That's what happens. I keep forgetting. I've been caught up with so much stuff. I'm forgetting to send stuff out. I gotta send out this thing to Cam from my time with Brian. It's gonna be good. Pablo Romero R. What's up? Hey Razmaz, how are you? All right. So anyway, as I was saying, I'm back, Hiroshi. I'm back. They can't keep me down. I think I see a UFO. Haha. You probably do see a UFO up there, and I would gladly welcome it. Red circles everywhere. Red circles. All right. Welcome to my neighborhood. All right. So someone asked me earlier about the state of comics, and I didn't get to read the questions, so I apologize for that up front. Or the comments. It's taking shape of a cloud. I'm back, Wedge. I'm back. I should call you Wedgie. I like it better. But Wedge is one syllable, and I'm huffing and puffing, so one syllable words are better for me to say. Just letting you know. All right. So, storytelling in the comic book industry. Lady Celtic Moon. I'm never going to get this part out. Howdy, dear. I have to leave. So I'm going to miss the rest of the stream, but keep the work up. Right on. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm graduating to like not just a walk. I can feel my glutes. I'm working them as I walk to kind of get the double impact. Oh, that's a nice house. I've never seen that one. That's a brisk pace. Yeah. Well, I'm walking more like it's like a New York minute here. I'm walking with a purpose. I try to tell my son that. Son, walk with a purpose. It's like, oh. Let me tell you. You gotta do it. Wedgie says, Jerkmonger, at least you get my name right. Unlike Douglas. What does he say? Hey, Pencil for Life, what's going on, brother? Peter says, at least trying to get that Brian Shearer bod. Yes, I am. That dude looks amazing. Lady Celtic Moon, everyone share and like. Peace, friends. Thank you, lady. I appreciate you so much. So yeah, comics. I think that because comics are being led mostly by these corporate choices, and in that regard, I mean, as I said earlier, I'm a capitalist. I believe in the free market. I believe that things should be judged on their merits, based on their merits, not on their political positions. I think that's foolish. It's the same reason why, although I'm a Christian, I don't necessarily support Christian comics because they're Christian. I support comics because they're good. If they happen to be Christian, then all the better. Everything else is a cop-out. Jalapeno, what's going on? Airsofters came for your stream and did downvoted you. Airsofters? I don't know what that is. Doesn't matter. The only way to fix people who downvote is for you guys to upvote. So if you guys like and share, we're walking We're talking about comics. We're talking about pop culture. All that good stuff. Take it easy, Lady Celtic Moon. Man says hit that like for Elliot. Brian, my man, my brother. I was just talking about you, about your super sexy body. Huh. Here. Cam, okay, back. Mary Needlepoint says, good morning. Wedge says, that actually sounds so wrong to me. Brian, shut my pipe. Right on, man. I'm gonna go, got my oil change this morning. I'm gonna head over to that cigar shop today, grab one of those. Air softers are really sensitive. I'll try and reason with them, but I think I accept them on Brian's stream. I don't know who air softers are. It's okay. So I'm getting that pace going. Like I said, I'm walking through Manhattan right now. That's how I feel. I'm preparing for Manhattan, my body. To get my... Oh no. Yeah, let's not talk about Pencil for Life's mom. I hope she's doing okay. I hope she's getting better, or at least she's comfortable. I hope so. I need coffee. I do too. I had a Diet Coke and with my breakfast. No bueno. That's why I'm walking hard. We're back morning all. That's right, ex-gal. Pipe Magic says, we all made it over from Brian's stream. Right on. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate you sending these people over. Cigar stream. We're going to try to do that soon. Just do it live with everybody watching. So anyway, so yeah, comics. I think that's the state of comics. Mr. Boyette, how are you? I just noticed, Edwin, that you're doing live streams and you're walking and talking too. That's cool. We're all walking and talking. It's because man says cigar stream. Yes. Good morning, folks. Says Comic Book Bob. Very cool. Very cool. I guess like the color of my shirt. This is a Batman shirt, but we don't talk about Batman around these parts anymore. Just kidding. I'm looking forward to New York. I'm looking forward to having better conversations with people. I'm definitely looking forward to talking to people about crowdfunding and making that more of a solid emphasis in my dialogue with folks. I'm hoping to inspire some people to try some things and get this market inoculated. Who am I saying hi to? Edwin, it's not my favorite shirt color. Downvote. Ah, Cam, I knew I'd disappoint you sometime. All right, so there's a bit of an incline here, so it's making the walk a little tougher. That's how I like it. That's how I like it. Gotta be careful when I do acting voices when I'm walking like this. Let's see, we're at 8 minutes now. Actually, I'm a little better than that. Do I have some DOOMKICKER materials? As a matter of fact, I made a new banner with the cover on it. At the top it says Elliot Fernandez, and the logo is where it is on the cover. And I made some flyers, 4x6 giveaway flyers for my table. So I'm going to be giving them away. I'm printing 1,000 of those, so I'm actually going to take those to some of my local comic shops. And there's not a lot of hills here. Not a lot of hills. All right, I'm going to make a left turn here. Just trying to keep this up for about 20-30 minutes, and I'm good to go. And then I'm going to be passing out those flyers. We're going to have people as part of our team passing out flyers in Artist Alley. So the plan is to do that. Now, we also have a small show here in Tampa called Spooky Empire, which is not a small show at all. It's actually it's a smaller show, but it's of its kind horror show. It's one of the best shows. It's here in Tampa this year, and I'll be spreading the word there as well with the flyers. By flyers, I mean, what do you call those? They're not flyers. They're not brochures. Little cards. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. There's a better name for it. Okay. Jalapeno says, and when he gets to heaven, to St. Peter, he will tell just one move. More air softer reporting, sir. I've served my time in hell. That sounds ridiculous, but I love it. Pamphlets? No. No, because a pamphlet is more like a a short booklet. Let's call it flyer. There's a more accurate terminology for it. Like when you go to Vegas, they give out these little cards or these little cards. They're not business cards. They're 4x6. Sometimes they're 5x7. I don't know. You know who sent me? The red umbrella flies into lightning fan. My friend. Cam says, I think that's a good idea. Advertising has X% hit rate. In the heart of every airsofter burns the heart of everyone. What is an airsofter? What is going on? Is everybody talking about postcards? Yeah, postcards. Yeah. I guess so. And the back of the card has the information to the DOOMKICKER live on INDIEGOGO with the link. Well, the address, because I can't make the link. And it also has created by Elliot Fernandez, Doug TenNapel, and then my social media stuff. So we'll see. Hookers give out cards in Vegas, so I'm told, says Cam. I wonder why you know that. Postcards. I feel like that's not the right term either, but it's closer. Airsoft are toy guns as far as I know. I know that. I know what an airsoft gun is, but what are airsofters? Are you talking about giveaways for NYCC? They're not giveaways. I guess they are. It's just a cover printed on this little postcard thing, like an advertisement. Like when you go to conventions, there's usually a table full of like swag, and usually little cards or advertisements, or come to such and such comics for discount, blah blah blah. Hey guys, I'm gonna be at H19 in Artist Alley. If you guys could do a favor, this would be amazing. If you guys could share that information, I'm gonna post it on Twitter. I think I posted a pic from Instagram, but it might not have shown up anyway. It's a link on Twitter. But I'm saying, if you guys can share that out for me, so that anyone who's in the New York area at the next week, they can come find me. I am become Airsoft Destroyer of Worlds. Okay, well, there you go. I'm going for my hike right now, says Inkwell. Cheers to healthy ways. This is exciting. My fat self is getting people mobilized. I like it. The airsoft community is a thing, I guess. I don't know. Airsofters are the forgotten warriors of rubber generation, and we all pay heed to their bravery, or need to their bravery. I don't know. Lightning fan. Oh, she's getting excited here. She's got a lot to say. I picked up a couple of postcard size ads from different booths at HeroesCon to bring home to my husband to show him something I was interested in. It's a good tool. I'm trying to keep the airsoft community happy before they turn on CG. Oh gosh, let's keep CG out of this stuff. None of that jibber jabber. I think they play with those guns. So yeah, I know. Yeah, okay. I know what airsoft is, and I just thought it was a new faction. Ridiculous. All right, so here I am walking, trying to remember to keep my pace up, because I get talky, and then I get distracted. I'm pretending I gotta go to the bathroom. I gotta hustle. I gotta hustle over to the bathroom. Where am I at? 14 minutes. At around 30 minutes, I'll slow down, so I'm making my way back. I'm not that far from the house right now. Talking and walking ain't easy, Peter. It's supposed to be, though. You're supposed to be able to hold a conversation while you walk. I guess this is a similar way. Maybe I'm in better shape than I think. I do know I have to start stretching, though, because I'm taking a new medicine for my cholesterol. And these cholesterol medicines tend to have an odd effect on my body. They start to hurt my muscles. They're so weird. It's that the one thing that helps you attacks you in a different way. Jalapeno. I'm not even talking about that stuff anymore. I'm done with all that. Okay. So I'm anti everything. I'm only pro me and you. Pro you guys, pro me, pro Jesus, pro family. That's it. And our family, and we'll take care of each other. The governments can't do it. And when we run out of resources, God will take care of all the rest. Jesus would have played airsoft? I don't think so. I don't think so. Everyone says daily walking will push your... How do you down, son? Yeah. Professional. Word. Professional. I got you. All right, so I'll show you my A1C, because I wasn't taking my medication, was high. It's supposed to be like 4 point something. I'm not even gonna tell you guys what it was. Peter says, how's the new Apple tablet working? Are you getting more comfortable with it? Yes, more and more every day. It's almost, not quite, it's almost intuitive now. Like I'm moving around to it now. In particular, that program, Clip Studio. Watch Paranormals every Thursday night at 9:30. Yes. Yeah, guys, if you have any suggestions for paranormals, or says if you guys see stuff and you record stuff, or you, even if it's just fun stories, goofy stories, send them to us. You know, we'll share it. We'll share who sent it if you guys want to be known, that sort of thing. I really want to keep that kind of stuff going and keep it fresh for you guys. So, oh man, I saw like eight. What was it? Who was the guy in Aaron? No, it wasn't Aaron. Anyway, oh god. Yeah. So back to the state of comics. So yeah, I think that comics are struggling. They're suffering from the corporate thing. I've been reading a lot of stuff. I've been reading a little bit about Bob Iger's comments. Very fascinating in relationship to all this stuff. And I've been, you know, I get it. I've been talking about this for a while. You know, when a company buys something, you expect they're going to have some sort of, you know, significant influence on the product. But I've also been paying attention to, well, like all the stuff that happened with Disney Star Wars. It's what's happening at Marvel. It's also what's happening over, I think, at DC. So they're trying to snatch specific customers, but I think they're trying to do it in spite or despite. I think it's I don't know if it's in spite of the customer. I mean, it seems like it's in spite of the traditional customer, but I don't know. Well, we talked about this yesterday, how comics don't have to be brick and mortar. There's a new frontier on the horizon as it relates to that in the digital form. Understanding that there is some opposition. Some people prefer these to stay as books. I'm maintaining so far, my position is, until I find a better position to take, that, I mean, as long as there's a market for it, as long as there's a comic shop open, I want to sell to that shop somehow. But before, the main physical product I'm focusing on is the initial crowdfunded item with all the perks that come with it. And from there, we can start talking about alternative ways to get things out. Alterna. Peter Sumetti, a little plug for Alterna Comics. I think Cam says I think a lot of big companies have really weird concepts of business. Well, that's probably true. I remember, you know, I grew up in corporate America, practically. And I remember the company I worked for, sometimes when the company gets stuck into a mode, and that's why I kind of understand why your Dan Didio's of the world are trying to do new things. The problem is they're doing new things with old characters that have lifelong fans. So it would be better, like, instead of changing, I don't know, making such and such character female or gay or straight or whatever, or black or white or Spanish or whatever, create new ones and find writers who can actually write them into your mythology. You know, Grant Morrison is a great writer. He does a great Superman, does a great Batman. What if we give him a new character to write? And he's just doing it at Marvel or DC. He guess they're making money. I think they want things both ways. They fail to understand what nostalgia is about. You can't bank on that while destroying it. Yeah, I agree. But again, they're desperate. They're desperate for ways to change. So here comes this little model, this crowdfunding thing. I think, I mentioned yesterday that movies are the new comic. I think what I mean by that is movies are the new outlet for entertainment. I heard another guy say yesterday in another interview, I think it was Rob Zombie, talking to Joe Rogan, that like heavy metal is very niche, but everybody loves movies. So he was talking about how you can't spot fans as easily from the movies because sometimes they look like lawyers, whereas your typical guy who's into heavy metal is bald with a long goatee or something. And he's making the point that the audience for movies are broader. So that's your broadest audience, I think, for entertainment, maybe even more broad than gaming. However, I don't think that means that comics have to go away. In fact, I think it's time for the evolution of the comic book and then the American industry of comics to shift. And it is shifting, not because we want it to, but because it's happening without our intent. Matt C. Lightning fan says, same problem NASCAR and NHL had in the 90s. New fans come in, leagues thought they should cater to them and cleaned up the sports. Wasn't what new fans signed up for, and OG fans were turned off too. Yep. Justin McClure says, oh dang, more exercise. Yep. I'm gonna try to do this every day. This is my quiet morning reflection time. I used to do it with, remember I used to do the morning muses. This is my morning muse time now. I prefer it because it's also safer because I'm not doing it in my car, and it's beneficial to me physically. One issue is that new fans are frivolous. You might get an influx, but how many stay versus how many old fans leave? Well, I think you got to be careful with comments like that, Cam, because I don't necessarily disagree with you. However, I think that there's an opportunity. We've got to be thinking about new customers. The problem is you can't do one or the other. You do have to do both. The problem is they seem to have chosen one over the other. This current comic company situation. I mean, as a group, they won't all stay certain numbers. Well, that's true about every customer, though. You're never going to get 100% of all the customers, and that's a fact. Let me see if I can get this. Oh no, my battery's low. Yep. The dogs. So it's better to focus. You've got to keep feeding. That's what I'm saying. You've got to try to find new content. It's the same thing as YouTube. If I just did everything that everybody else does, then there's no reason to come to me unless I'm doing it special or different. You might argue that comics is the YouTube of what it is, of that industry, or of entertainment of that sort, of fiction entertainment. And so the format doesn't have to change. just the content. So we're always looking for fresh content here on YouTube. We need fresh content in comics. Marvel, DC focus on, like, I like the idea. I'm not sure, and this goes, these companies may be too big now to experiment. This sounds weird. You would think that when you got big enough, you could try new things. But I think some of these companies are, because of the way that they're set up in their infrastructure, because once you get to a certain size as a corporation, you almost have to do things exactly the same way every time. But McDonald's is actually a good example, right? Because they have the cheeseburger, they have this, they have that, and every once in a while they come out with the McRib. That's kind of what I'm thinking is the overarching solution. But I don't know if DC's infrastructure, for example, I'm using them because I like them more right now than Marvel. I don't know if their infrastructure can maintain that. By the way, I'm cooling down now, and my phone's about to die. So like Marvel used to have Marvel Fanfare. We used to have, and also because everything they do is tied to some sort of book. It's always 6-issue arcs for a trade paperback. So I think they should experiment with doing some stuff, content online. And I think they should do it for free. They should produce online comics like on places like Webtoons and start creeping into that space and taking it over. But they're so big and their egos are so gigantic as Disney is. They want to have their own streaming service. They're going to want to have their own, and they have their own comic service, but how many people are joined? I don't know. Cam says, I think a lot of companies assume, I lost that. Old stable customers will stay and they can do whatever they want to gain new customers, but X will leave and Y% of new customers will stay, which is larger. Long term, the old customers die. And I think that's the calculation they made just too soon. Yeah, I think you're right. I think they have an opportunity to service customers that are still here and they're turning them off. I think you want all the money you can get. I don't think you can afford to, at this point in the industry, you can't afford to let any customers out. You know, if people don't like your character, you can't do anything about that. If people don't like you as a creator, you can't do anything about that. But as long as you can, get all the money you can from every customer who's willing to give it to you. Good analogy with McDonald's is Lightning Fan. They may add an Angus burger with mushrooms every once in a while. My French fries are still my French fries. That's true. Matt C., my friend, says, do you think that indie comics is transitioning away from superheroes? I think 2020 indie comics is going to look broader. I think, I'll be honest with you, I think superheroes are hard to do. And people are afraid. I think the reason why you don't see enough superhero work is because people don't know what to do with it. To be honest, it's just mythology. That's all superheroes are. But they're intimidated by Marvel and DC. And also, it's ironic because everyone's doing we're moving away from superheroes, but it seems like everything's going to horror or everything's going to slice of life. I mean, I think you can have all of it. I think we should. But I hope it's broad. I want to see it more like it is in Japan and Europe. I just don't want to lose an opportunity because we, as Americans, own the superhero. We shouldn't forsake it. We need to evolve it. We need to not evolve it, but grow it, nurture it. Cam says, I think comic companies did both poorly. They failed to attract new customers, yes, and lost ones, yes, the old ones. I think it's hard to make superheroes that are more popular than the great ones we have. Not if they keep screwing them up. I mean, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think it's a matter of making new ones. By the way, I'm also of the not unpopular persuasion that some of these superheroes should go back to being, at least Marvel and DC superheroes. They're too big for their britches right now. They should not be as adult as they are. Sorry, guys. If they were more designed for kids, we could still get kids in, but they're not. If they were more, um, and if it was more family friendly or universal, we could have room for Watchmen and Dark Knight Returns type stories with new characters. But we can't now because the industry has to make Superman work. That's just my opinion. I love that. We do own the superhero. Why not keep it going? Keep it healthy and dynamic. Yes, yes, yes. Pablo says, I think the problem with superheroes is that it's hard to create something that is not like something else. Well, but see, I agree with that, except it doesn't. I don't think that matters. I really don't think it matters. I think you should make your superhero. Look, there's only so many characters. Was it Joseph Campbell talked about this? There's only so many faces. There's only so many masks. They're all the same hero. So this idea, I mean, look, we're all doing vampire stories. Everybody's doing alien stories. Everybody's doing Bigfoot stories. Everyone's doing the same stories. And yet, because they're indie, they seem different. Why can't you also do superheroes? They're going to be the same anyway. Might as well do them. Just do it. Try to do them better. I don't think Marvel owns that. I don't think DC owns that. They screwed up those franchises, in my opinion. It's our chance to take it back. House of X and Powers of X is pretty good. I must admit, it's not over the top. Well, that's good. Good for them. Andy Hayes says, hey, Elliot, how's the weight loss coming? I need to get going on that myself. Well, I'm trying. Since Watchmen people have been trying to mimic it for 30 years, it's got old long ago. Right, but that's because they were imitating that. I think we need some new characters. Why? Listen, Jack Kirby did it. Everybody forgets this stuff. Before there was New Gods, all the New Gods were an imitation of the Asgardians. That's all it was. And he created the New Gods. It's just being creative. The problem isn't the characters, is that it's hard to do because people aren't creative anymore, because we keep focusing on the one thing only. Morgan Begg says, yep, comics need to be for younger audiences too. The loss of the comics code was ultimately a sad thing. I think you're right in a way. I think you're right. I think there should have been a section of stuff for comics that's universal. You know, like a PG-13. And then there's an R section. You know? I don't want my kids watching rated X stuff. Cam says, someone put it very well. Superheroes need to be spending more time superheroing. Yeah. That's a great point about attracting kids. Baseball lost out on their kids market when the ESPNs of the world fought for their more primetime games. Yes. Lightning Fan says, when the Rays first made the playoffs in 2008, there were kids here in North Carolina wearing Rayhawks. Why? Because the Rays got the bad time slots in the afternoon. The kids fell in love with them. Cam says people might laugh, but Zach keyed in on it. Half the time superheroes are eating. Because Manny says, I have a hard time finding comics suitable for my mini-me's. Yeah. So that's why, I think there should be, for instance, my Atomo. Atomo is derivative. I'm not going to lie. Why should I? It's a superhero with a cape. But just remember that when Superman came out, he may have started the trend, but he created a trend. And there were capes everywhere. Most of them didn't last. Why? Because they were just copying. But maybe if some of them were good, and then DC bought them, like Captain Marvel. But he worked. He was derivative, but he worked. It's possible. You got to stop believing the limitations. Listen, Marvel and DC want you to think that you can't create characters like theirs. But then why do we keep creating vampires? And to great successes, to great degree of success. Why do we keep making monsters? Why do we keep making ghost stories? We don't say that those are... The reason why it's not working is because there's too many of them. No, that's not why. Superhero is a genre now. It has been for a long time. And really it's part of science fiction. It's an offshoot of science fiction. What makes these things fresh is when you have a wider breadth of inspiration. Could be Western inspired. Look at a Kurosawa, his Seven Samurai, how it inspired Magnificent Seven. Magnificent Seven, its own one of the greatest cowboy westerns, and also inspired by Japanese samurai story. Star Wars mashed up a bunch of genres. Come on, guys, get creative. We could do it. We could do it. We've just been believing DC and Marvel to tell us that no, no. They love it. They love it when we draw their stuff in the artist alley, and they want us to think that they own it and you can never do anything like it. It ain't so. Wu-Tang is for the children. Let's see, Cam says, wait. Matt C says, Tampa baseball, deep lore, love it. Camlin 30 says, I actually like the DC superhero girls line. It made an attempt to grow for a younger market. Cute art, fun stories for the most part. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. It's when they bring that to the mainstream and they changed the tone of all the characters they already had for a customer that they're not even sure they got yet. That's my opinion. Lightning Fan says, since day one. Superman will be free for all to use soon. No, not quite. But I don't want to use Superman. We don't have to. Make your own guy. I got my guys. They're coming because we love our mythology. DC sued Fawcett and eventually won. Later, DC purchased Fawcett's characters. Boo. It's American mythology. Wu-Tang for the people. There you go. All right, guys. I'm hitting that dead spot. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for hanging in with me. I'm trying to keep these. It's not much longer than 30 minutes, so I can get back to work. But I appreciate all you guys. Thank you guys so much for joining in the chat and encouraging an insightful conversation. I hope that this stuff was good for you guys. Let me read some more here. Farmer Dan says, bye, Elliot. Justin Ward says, Jerkmonger is not just superheroes. Everything's gotten too realistic, dark and visceral. Look at all the dark movie remakes, the deadly video games, somber. All right, bye. You can do it. Nice to see you, Elliot. Thanks for the chat. All right, I love you too, man. Thank you for supporting me, man. I appreciate it. All right, kids, you guys have a great day. God bless you guys. And whatever you do, support what you like. I'm not going to tell you to stay away from drama. Drama is going to always be. But, hey, man, I mean, I am, and I feel great. I don't know what's going on, and I'd rather be there. And I'm staying away from stuff that will catch me into that groove. If you guys feed that monster, it'll always be there. Just try to rise above it. And if you're a creator, create. Please create. Do something. Make a story. I don't know, whatever it is, make it. If we want a robust industry, we have to make it. We have to stop waiting for other people to do it for us. That's the reality. All right. I like the drama in my stories. That's right, Cause Betty. Just keep creating, and we will be there to support you. And I will, Cam. I will. Justin McClure says, because you exercising and getting vitamins from the sun creates good spirits. All right, kid. Appreciate you guys. Thank you guys. And I guess I'll see you soon. Probably tonight's auction. Maybe. I guess I'll see you soon. Probably tonight's auction. Maybe. I'll see you guys.